It's a big win for Mineski.
Yes, but during that time,
Two lanes very well. He's pushing a lot of his webs deeper and deeper. But I like the fact that Miracle took that long push through the bottom side to kind of like back up from that mid lane.
No, it's good to be able to protect that. Especially if you're not going to be contributing to fights as the AUK, you at least have to be able to shove out the waves for your team.
Yeah.
He's got the relic. The worrying sign right now is typically what ends up happening is AUK teams will almost always get the better of you in terms of GPM. While Liquid are still losing GPM.
Yeah, I mean, Alchemist being the top of the net worth, I mean, that's whatever. That happens all day, right? But for me, the big concerning thing is that the three other heroes of Mineski are still beating out both the Pugna and the Venomancer. Venomancer by a long shot, too.
He's going to go down once again. Gets Necro ulted, so he's down for almost a minute. They even give him the tome. He was just shy of his level 10, that 30 XP talent.
Does Matama Man start like buying the wards?
I don't know, man. This game is...
he's about to be overtook by the Chen.
This game's getting way out of control for him right now. And you're right, he's barely ahead. And so pretty much this is going to become the can Alchemist have this crazy game? But he's an AUK, so the answer is always maybe.
It's taken them so long, like that mid tower, right? They definitely got slowed down quite a bit. Full minute and a half to take that one. They've been living up here in this top lane for forever, and they're only just now taking that tier 2. And it's going to be a trade-off too. As you can see, that bottom tier 2 is about to drop from a small push from Moon.
Yep. Just pushes things over. Are we calling him Moon?
I mean, I'm just kind of switching up back and forth. I figure it's helpful for people maybe watching Mineski for the first time.
Okay, true.
Or Dota for the first time.
Nice, nice. You
but
think
yes,
anybody's playing
not
Dota?
on his Moon, for anybody who hasn't picked up on that.
All right, Bushi, gonna clear a lot of these creeps.
Get all of them. Whoa, the initiation onto a Medusa. This didn't work so good for Liquid last time. And this time we are going to be able to get off the ultimate for Mushi's going to try and go for the TP out, and is going to be successful. Jab's going to be caught, but honestly, that's worth it. Mineski, they managed to get their big carry out of the way. 4-man gank at top lane.
Yeah, and Miracle.
В этой ситуации Медуза не погибла, потеряли лишь саппорта 5-й позиции.
已经灰药了，这样杀得更快。
而且他其实有。
Aside from that kill, 7-7 is the support, 17 minutes. Ice just opting to transition into a really strong core, trying to keep up with that AUK's farm.
Are we seeing the typical build out of our Broodmother?
Yeah, I don't think
haven't
anything
seen him clicked on him too often.
I don't think any part of this is too surprising.
Mask Menace, yeah, Desolator. So
yeah, all of his talents are the same.
Yeah. Nothing really changing from our off lane to mid Broodmother.
Yeah.
Build.
350 health is a lot though, as one of his talents.
Yeah.
Nobody gets it, but it is a really strong level 15 talent.
It's just in part like your webs are such a key part of the hero, right? That you need to be able to have them up.
Liquid gonna go for Roche themselves. We talked about how important it was on the Brood, especially with this negative armor build. That's kind of what this core Brood specializes in, being able to do this Roshan early. Because she's similar to Ursa in the sense that she needs that Aegis to be able to play these fights. And that's why Mineski, they're going to full form fight for this.
They're going to try, but the Pugna Ward's already up. They've got a nice surrounding defense force, and Roshan is going to go down. But the initiation already up. They're going to be able to bring down the Venomancer. Reaper Sight, not quite enough, but a beautiful cast locked in between the two. They're going to finish off the Alchemist, take away that Aegis. Now go for Mind Control in the back line, but Mind Control's too strong. He managed to finish off Ice with a suck. Now Moon going for GH. If he can get the kill, it'd be huge for his survivability, but he can't quite get it. GH a little bit too far away. Ninja Booger's going to get head him. And they do have the Shrine up, so they are going to be able to back up defensively. That was not bad for Mineski whatsoever.
No, not at all. They even got the Roshan last hit, if you didn't catch that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the snake, when he bounced it in,
oh,
managed to barely hit him on the way in, gets the last hit. I think that's what happened anyways, because I saw a bunch of spells fly. Snake connect. If that doesn't happen... If that doesn't happen... If that doesn't happen... If that doesn't happen...
Silence, slow down. All right.
Very smart.
You lied to me, Blitz.
They committed the stun for that. They needed to save it.
Yep. I don't know. Why didn't they? I thought the moment they threw down that ward and got vision, right? I thought, okay, once you've got vision and you know he's not TPing, you just hold on to the stun.
No, if you hold on to the stun, I feel like he 100% dies there. Maybe
they
like
also did not click on the Necrophos to know that he had TP.
Maybe they thought they could burst him. He did have it in his backpack. He just swapped it out.
Oh, okay.
So they probably thought they're... Maybe if you did just like a one quick check. But still, this is not the Liquid that we have come to expect.
This is fighting time soon from Mineski, right? Once they've got that BKB for the Broodmother, you become this unstoppable lock-on force.
Yes. This Broodmother has barely participated in fights past the laning phase. Of course, he was available for the Roshan engagement, which was very important. He absolutely had to be a part of that. But for the most part, he's just kept up in net worth cap. He realizes he needs to be a true one position as well. And it's actually Mineski who's putting more pressure by the fact of having 3 cores on their side. Especially Venno is less net worth than this Night Stalker.
First Spirit, GH is going to be caught. Cass goes forward, does manage to get the Maledict out with the damage of the ward. It's going to be kind of close. GH does have the TP away. Mic control with just the extra added.
What a buddy. But still, look at Matuma, man.
Now, I've got a question for you, Blitz, as long as we don't have a fight here. Why doesn't Broodmother at some point try and take over the other side of the map? Why don't you try and go to that top lane, take those towers down, that off lane tier 1 that's still standing, the off lane jungle?
You don't want to slow down your pace of the game.
Okay.
You want to force people to bottom. If you see that you still have a tier 1 at top, it's not as big of a need to defend that. Because you think to yourself, well, we still have 2 towers to wait. But if it's only just you and a tier 3 exposed at bottom, somebody constantly has to be there or your tower's going to take unnecessary damage. And so it's not just simple like, oh, well, let's move the Brood over, because then Liquid will just play the other side. They'll have a tower buffer as well. They can choose to take that tower fight. It's a little bit harder for Brood.
So the threat of the Broodmother is just a lot stronger in that bottom lane.
She's a little bit like NP in that sense.
Okay.
If you're playing against an Nature's Prophet and you lose a tier 2, you always have to make sure that that bottom lane is being counter pressured out. Or if you take the middle of the fight and he just takes Rax really easily.
8 to 10, a 3K gold lead for Mineski. Now that may not sound like a lot, but remember, this is an Alchemist lineup on Team Liquid. They're always supposed to have the net worth advantage, and they do not. By a significant amount, too.
And I'm going to bring this up for the 3rd time in like 2 minutes, but it's largely on the back of the fact that they were never able to get their Venno going.
Yep.
Like, he's got a Veil at 23 minutes. He barely has more net worth than that Night Stalker who's playing the 4th position, who barely has any farm himself. Relative to this game, relative to all games, Venomancer is very underfarmed.
Matam probably complaining to Kuro right now. He's like, I thought this season could be different. I thought maybe I could be a carry instead of just a stepping stone for Miracle.
Nah, dude. Life's hard. Life's tough for all of us, man.
Safe lane carries have it rough. Miracle's going to be gone on the mid lane. It's going to take a lot to bring him down. The Reaper sight is just enough. So GH with its roll-in is going to be completely ineffective. Look at that Brood. And Broodmother. She gobbles up that Earth Spirit, and they're going to go straight for mid. See if they can catch anything more. Ninja Boogie getting some aggressive wards out.
And this is a very good way to play Brood, by the way, Cap. He hasn't made himself exposed at all times. He's kept up in farm. He's done a very good job of getting ahead of the pack right now. And so far, it's paid off. Mineski, they feel very comfortable going later on with this Alk right now.
I kind of feel like the Alchemist against this newer Broodmother that we're seeing that is so single target focused, a lot less effective than he used to be, right? Like maybe he can zone you out from being able to push into some towers once you got that Radiance and stuff, but Broodmothers right now don't care about that. They care about controlling both the Ancients, a lot of neutral camps, and farming and farming and farming until they hit that big, gigantic net worth advantage over most of the enemy.
Yeah, But at the same time, it wasn't as simple as that straight up one-on-one, right?
Yeah.
Of course, the Broodmother completely ruined Matama Man's game. Never let him get online. That rotation mid that they were forced to take as well. It benefited Mind Control because Mind Control just took all the creeps and they were able to grab some towers for him, but your one position still needs some farm.
Now this is kind of an interesting choice. We don't really see the Aghanim Scepter unless we're dealing with some harder illusion carries, like the biggest example being the Chaos Knight, but an Axe for the Medusa after the Blade Mail and Yasha. Oh, missed roll in on the Broodmother.
Does have a BKB though, so this isn't a real threat. They're just kind of poking at him, seeing what happens, trying to force some responses from Mineski, maybe force some heroes over, but Mineski, I'd imagine they wait until the next Roshan engagement just because they have that area locked up. They don't think that Liquid will take a fight anymore.
What about the Axe on the Medusa though?
Oh, the Axe on the Medusa, I think it's just a good item now.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's really annoying to play against. Quite good against the Alchemist.
Yeah, eventually we'll have, well, he's got it already, the Manta illusion out.
It's pretty nice against that.
It also provide a stun for that Pugna, his channel.
Yes.
Right.
I think it's kind of value item this game, but I would say that it would be worse if he had to play the true one, but because he doesn't, because he has two other cores that can kind of help lighten the load in that regard.
Yeah, this isn't like full on, I have to 1v.
This is like, okay, we've got a lot of mouths to feed. What item will allow me to utilize my farm the best?
Miracle closing in on Octarine. Once we get to the full 6-slotted Alchemist, we'll start passing out Aghanim Scepters. They did bring up on the panel, Team Liquid is a full Axe team. I'm not sure if that's really going to change a whole lot here. Mineski, it looks to me like they're just going to go high ground in like the next 10 minutes. With a second Roshan, take that tier 3, then you can take the Shrines, wait for a third Roshan, then end the game.
Maybe, but if that doesn't happen,
but okay,
that's a lot of Axe net worth inflation.
It's still a Medusa late game. Are you not at all concerned that, like, late game Alchemist is not the be-all end-all carries,
Cap.
right? Okay.
Hear me out.
Blitz's got that cheeky smile. I know he's got some weird-ass idea.
Here's what happens. You give it to Earth Spirit, and he just kicks people in. He stones him and just kicks him in.
Okay.
That's a counter. That's how you win this game. Mind Control messed up. He bought his own Axe.
I was expecting a whole lot more out of that.
Nah, dude. It doesn't get crazier than that.
All right. Alchemist is going to be slowed down a little.
Too late to the party. As they might even decide to go high ground, they're pushing in all the waves. And you notice, by the way, without even the Brood being there, they did naturally take out that tier 1. They forced Liquid to take these very fractured fights as a result of them always having to deal with bottom, the Brood pressure.
Right.
And that's exactly why you don't want to completely ruin your game as Brood. Go take that top tier 1 tower. Your team can do that by themselves. At some point, it'll come more naturally to you, where the pace of game is met a little bit more. You've taken Roshan, you've got control of that area. Your supports feel comfortable placing wards a little bit deeper.
Ice, ice, ice. Popping that ultimate as a war cry. See if Mike wants to do battle, but he will not. 8-14, 7,000 net worth lead for Mineski. You can see, of course, just not looking so hot on Team Liquid right now.
Yeah. Nobody really picking up farm aside from this Alk, and even this Alk has had a very rough time.
What's the 25 talent? It's more webs for Broodmother, right? Whole lot more.
Yeah, I think somebody was telling me like all the spider talents are kind of garbage.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you're not really, in the past it was like you were a Broodlink hero, but now you're not.
Yeah, it used to be like spiders were your thing, but now spiders are just a farming tool, right?
If you really want to make it in this world, you've got to learn to pivot. And Brood's definitely learned how to pivot. You gotta find a new, new profession, like
Broodmother's a strong, independent spider.
Yeah. Went back to school, got a STEM degree, loaded up.
Now she's making that money.
Really is.
Liquid, man, they look so scared. Constantly four-manning while the Alchemist does his thing. It's pretty much just the Alchemist show right now. Like, for Liquid, they just kind of have to wait until Alchemist can start giving them some net worth.
Dude, that's the hope. That's the dream right now. But guys, you might think that I only have 8K net worth as
TP, not gonna make it.
That's a good kill, and that's an important one just because this Roshan is up, and now Liquid, they've got to be decisive. You have to go in for this and commit, because in a full 5v5, you lose that fight quite badly.
And it's not like the Night Stalker is a huge boon to Mineski, but I think this is the only advantage that Liquid are ever going to be able to find.
And Mineski, I think they still want to take this fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Stunned up. They're going to pop the ultimate now. There goes the Manta, and he's going to go straight for the back line, going for the Witch Doctor. An easy kill. Reaper Sight's going to hold him in with damage. It's just not enough for the Broodmother yet, but it will finish off eventually. Now the extra bit of damage from the Earth Spirit. They're trying to finish off Roshan still, but stuck inside the pit. Pugna's going to end up going down. Witch Doctor throwing out the ultimate. It's not going to do a whole lot. A great ultimate from Matuma Man, but can they actually kite these heroes around well enough?
They are getting
staying alive inside that pit. Roshan trying to beat him to death, but it's just not going to happen. Necrophone's going for Mind Control, still going for that Dusa. He's slowing him down even more. Somebody needs to save this Dusa. He's going to go down. He ends up dropping. Ice comes back into it after a buyback, but he may not be able to catch these heroes. They send back Mind Control. Matuma Man slows and gales him away. And Liquid, they get out. They may not be able to get Roshan, but they get out of that fight.
They're going to go back right in there as Mind Control gets healed up. Going to go back in there.
That's if Ice doesn't finish off first. They're trying to zone out the rest of Liquid, but they still have the numbers advantage. And the buyback is going to allow Ice to get that ace.
They committed the buyback for that, but Liquid, kings of the scrappy fight.
Jesus.
Absolutely no way, just in terms of net worth, that they should be able to win that fight, especially with their out going down so quickly, but Mind Control willing them into this game right now.
How did he stay so strong in that pit for so long?
He did such a good job of space management. Yep. When the Alk went right, he decided to go left. He cut up, he took the high ground, and then he just said, come to me. King Kong ain't got shit on me.
Feels like Mineski a little bit fractured in their shot calling as well. Saw like the Necrophos separating himself from the Dusa, trying to chase down the Earth Spirit.
Especially since there's no Magnus or Earthshaker or Enigma or anything like that, you need to play this tight fall style where you move together, you need to take this together. But as soon as they split up, because they were pretty confident that they were going to win that fight, they even had to commit the buyback to the Brood, and still it's a little bit ugly, a little bit messy, and Liquid once again finds a little bit of spark of hope.
It's a very small one, but if they can kill that Broodmother 2 times in a row, or maybe they just wait for the Aegis to go out, and if they can find the kill in that like 1 to 2 minute timer they got between the Aegis being away and the buyback still being off cooldown.
Yeah, and right now mid, Nana is convinced up. They want to do the ultimate on the out.
Just to hold them, but they do have Mind Control up in the top lane, trying to get the heal out. Miracle trying to dodge a little bit with that Manta, but it's just too much damage, it looks like. Tambaman trying to run interference. The heals from Mind Control, just not enough. Mind Control on the top lane is not going to be enough heals. Miracle is down, and the rest of Liquid, I can't even believe they're even thinking about turning on this. They're trying to focus on the Necrophos. He has to get out real quick. Good force staff gets him out of range of that one. Mind Control is just a real damage dealer right now. Matuma Man slows down the the Broodmother even more, looking to be able to pop that Aegis. Ninja Boogie comes back in, goes to the Chen, way too far out, but Mind Control is getting some of the supports. Little bit of suck there on the jabs. They have a buyback on both Miracle. Oh, actually, they don't have it on Chen, but I don't think that one matters too much. So they can defend high ground with the buyback, but it's going to be something Mineski are going to be able to force here.
I mean, Pugna is the king of holding this high ground. You can always just blast out, clear the creeps, continuously drain, make things as annoying as possible. Mind Control doing just that, getting rid of the illusions, and this should be a successful hold. Even the
aggressive force staff in with the kick. Ice stunned right in front of his shrine, but he's going to go for Mind Control. Doesn't have the diffuser blade to be able to pop that. Now has it off cooldown, but it's going to be a bit too late to go for that kill. So Mineski have to back up as the Alchemist is coming back up in 10 seconds. You're right, Blitz. King of the high ground, it seems, is Mineski unable to even just take that tier 3 to unlock Shrine. Now, Liquid's still going out here. Mushi does get stunned up by GH. Trying to go for the TP out, will be successful.
And GH stunned up. Doesn't have a boulder smash even if he wanted it. But
looks like
the south
Moon
side
got caught. Force staff out. Forced to pop the cheese here.
He does have a BKB though. TP in 2 seconds. He should be able to just BKB TP, and he's going to do exactly that.
Liquid force whatever they can at this point. You can see so little buybacks available.
Yeah, and a relatively clean escape.
Yeah, relatively. Force out of cheese, BKB charge.
Those BKB charges down to 5 seconds for the Mother. Pugna played very well, mind control, being the true one position. It's pivoted again.
Insane.
It's changed again. A second ago, it was like, okay, this Alk has to carry, now it's this Pugna has to do all the dirty work. And that's the scary part about Liquid. Their core is very talented, but still, Mineski have played this game so well, putting themselves in a very good position to still take this game.
I guess that's something that we didn't really talk about because, I don't know, it's just a Broodmother game, so naturally you feel like you don't need it as much, but strong initiation, right? For these team fights, Mineski very much lack that. They can't really get to that backline very easy on the Pugna, so it was all fine and well and good when Broodmother was forcing the enemy team apart, and we had all these fractured team fights, but now as you go to high ground, right? Full 5-on-5s are gonna happen. It's really tough for them to actually get to that back line somehow.
Yeah, they don't have stuns. That's the main part of it. They don't have stuns, their gap closing is really bad. Like, who gap closes on this team?
Nobody.
The
just kind of run in, it's Night Stalker, Force Staff Necro in.
Oh, in this fight outside the base.
Another BKB got to be blown. Liquid,
they want to take this fight with the BKB down. They're angling forward right now, feeling very confident, even at nighttime.
Ice away to the trees, but now they're actually going to try and cut Liquid in half with Mushi going in with the ultimate, forces some of them in, but they're not really getting it up, and Ice is still having trouble with that Alchemist, but is going to be able to get some healing back. It is now, the ultimate goes off, mind control, finish off jabs, now the rest of the Liquid is here to be able to save Miracle's
Liquid's going to take this.
Sun come up, and Broodmother, he's down! Moon, BKB, Force Staff over the cliff, he's got to be able to get away as well. Earth Spirit trying to chase out that Duso, Force Staff for the Centaur just to see if they can catch him. Oh, but they missed the kick. A jump forward. Oh, they're still going to be able to get Moon, though. Mataba Man's trying to run him down. Looks like the Dusa was able to get away, but Broodmother down for 100 seconds. If they can get this Necropost as well, which they will, caught him out with a stun. Miracle is just too damn fast.
And they don't have any buyback on that Brood either, and we see that the lack of lockdown just biting them in the asses. They can't hold anybody down. Liquid is able to split that fight perfectly. Mind control, beelines inside that Roshan pit for cover, just starts draining targets down. Once they lose jabs, they truly have no disables. And Liquid with another successful fight.
Night Stalker gets caught. Liquid find another one.
Really thought that this was going to be the game for Mineski, but Liquid playing out of their minds right now. And if there was one fight that Mineski should be able to take, it's around that Roche pit outside the bases. The drain goes down, the kick flies, doesn't land. But outside that base where you have a lot of webs, you've got open territory, it's a little bit easier to pin heroes down. That should be your advantage, but even that's been lost to them.
Maledict on Miracle, but a Solar Crest. So much armor.
Oh, here we go.
Ew, what a bounce there. They're going to be able to catch Alchemist. Concoction goes out.
He doesn't care at all.
To get anything. He just turns away from Mushi to community hit on that tier 3 tower. This has got to be mid lane of Braxis. There's still 25 seconds on that Broodmother.
And we talked about how it was going to be a little bit hard for that Necro to be able to kill this Alk later on with that regen.
Are they going to go for more? 15 seconds, they'd be really pushing it if they went for another one.
I think they've got time. I think they should be able to feel that they can't really die in these engagements anymore. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Just popping that fresh chemical rage. Goes for another one. Mushi still does not have his ultimate. And again, with the lack of stuns, it's so important to have every single one of them. TP coming in. Ice, the Broodmother on the front line. Immediately gets locked up by GH. So that pursuit from Mineski is just not going to be able to catch anything.
Yes, and that's a giant charge of BKB to be used, especially for this high ground defense if Liquid decides to push this out, but they can just go for the shrines instead, reset the game a little bit, surround this Roshan area, get a little bit more map control, because right now if you're Liquid, momentum is completely on your side, net worth does not matter, because Mineski simply just cannot fight you anymore.
Man, it's crazy. I thought for sure 5 minutes ago, I was looking at that tier 3 at mid lane's going to go down because Alchemist is dead for like 30 seconds. Couldn't even finish that tier 3, and it's Liquid shortly thereafter who take the first lane of Brax.
Yeah, and it was this Pugna really that did so much work for them.
Yeah.
Mind control, if they win this game, clear-cut MVP for me, not even close. the amount that he's done for his team, keeping people alive, assaulting the backlines, keeping hidden, the fact that he hasn't died, he has 0 defensive items, no force staff or anything like that, has a blink dagger instead, just refuses to go down 8-1-7, hasn't died since the early game, absolutely dominant. On the side of Mineski, their core's still very strong in terms of net worth, but the same issues apply. And look at the Medusa's item build. I was about to say this. He had the ulti orb. You have to change your build. You need more lockdown. Yeah. So he goes to the Hex instead. Very smart decision. But at this point, the question is...
But it cost him a lot of damage.
Hopefully, though, the Broodmother's going to be there for him. To lay out that DPS. Because who cares how much damage you have if you can't lock anybody down to deal it?
I mean, but even if you sacrifice somebody, right? If it's not the Pugna's in the back line, he just throws that heal on whoever that single target they're trying to go on.
Yeah, they really want this Pugna down right now.
They got to get an initiation blitz. So how do we change this narrative for Mineski? All these team fights have been terrible. We saw the last initiation around that Roshan pit where they tried to like cut Liquid in half, basically, with Miracle on the Shrine area and Mushi zoning everyone else out. That obviously wasn't the key to victory. What is?
I think they've got to shove out all the lanes using the Brood. And after that, you try to smoke up, maybe go the long way around, go top down, look for that Pugna. You have to have a better approach than just kind of ramming full force into Liquid, though.
Is this why we see Liquid being so aggressive every single time? I feel like they're being very much in your face. It's because they just don't want to give Mineski that room to split push.
You don't want to give them any sort of breathing room. And on top of that, they just don't fear them anymore. They say to themselves, wow, guys, they really have no AoE. They've got no team fight. Mainly, they just have single target spells. This bodes very well in our favor. Let's just run at them. And so far, been very successful. The Alchemist, absolutely massive.
I feel like this Aghanim Scepter is a really big pickup, though, for Mineski's Necropos.
You think so? I
mean, every single time we're using Reaper's Scythe to lock down a hero in the beginning of the fight. And these fights are drawn out a little bit.
Yes. So it's largely been Miracle that he needs to be able to use that to execute, just because using it when Miracle's at 2/3 HP clearly does nothing. He just heals from that. This has to be your finishing spell. And Nana has misplayed that a little bit. You got to make sure that if you throw that thing out there, it's going to deal a killing blow, but once again, Roshan is the real prize for this game, as both teams centered around that. Miracle going to shove out bottom. Conversely, top's going to get shoved out too. Both teams trying to force the other away from that area. And Liquid's going to bite first. Miracle with his travel boots very safely do this, and now Mineski has to respond. It's do or die time. Do you deal with this Alchemist, or do you just commit for this Roshan?
Gale, they're going to go from on top of man with the Scythe of Ice. A defensive force staff gives him some distance, but it's not going to be enough. A BKB popped, another force staff, but he doesn't get over the cliff. He does manage to get off his ultimate, and there goes the Reaper's Scythe to hold him a little bit longer. They finally finish him off, and looks like Jabs and Mushi are enough to force him back. But Miracle did not TP into that fight. He kept up the push in bottom lane, and he's chipping away that tier 3 so fast. They've got to deal with it immediately. Deuce is going to be the second one back here. The only one who could really deal with these illusions.
And Liquid should just immediately go back into that Roche pit. This might have been a mistake. Matama Man buys back for this. Mineski, you've got to be in full retreat mode right now.
All right, Mineski, glad they backed out of that pit before they got caught. We knew that was going to be a nasty engagement. So Liquid have the time now to be able to go for this Roshan while these heroes work themselves from bottom all the way to the top lane, but it's just too fast. So they're going to give both the Aegis in. Because they don't have any damage. Now